would say at the time.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. This time is 6:22. Mr. Bucket will lead us in prayer for those who like to join. What's up?
Dear Father, thank you for another day, and thank you for this meeting. I know we don't have enough, but at least we'll be able to meet and let everyone know while we're discussing. Thank you for letting us all be here, and let us all have a happy Thanksgiving. In your name we pray. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
I'd like to first apologize for my part, because I've never done this before. Seems like that is. Quickly, we're going to try to explain to you what we're going to do. We can't do any business, meaning that we can't vote on anything. What we will do and can do is we can go through the agenda, we can listen to any concerns that anyone may have. But please understand that we can't vote or make any decision tonight. So anything that comes up that needs a vote or decision, we'll take it to next month's meeting. Okay? We have the invocation. This time we'll have the minutes from the September 11th meeting.
We can't do this with the mission calendar. We can't do
We can't vote on it.
We're just tabling this back.
Okay, we'll table our minutes. That was been a discussion that we talked about taking a field trip, and the purpose of taking the field trip is that so all board members will be able to physically see what's needed in our parks and what our parks have or do not have. And it's been requested that we table that until next month so we can take a good day with daylight saving time. We kind of told us backwards. Meeting
Pretty
at
dark
6
out there right now.
yeah, meeting at 6 o'clock, we won't really be able to get a true picture of what's needed. I've been up to all of the parks, and some of the others have, and then some of us haven't. So we want you to know that we are interested in making sure that we get our people in our parks, keep our parks updated, and give the things that needs to be given to our parks. And while we're on parks, well, I'll get to this on item 7. Item 6 is an update on the Escape Coalition. If you'd like to take the podium, please.
I'm just giving a brief update of where we've made it. We started fundraising. We have a GoFundMe. We've done 2 fundraisers to date. I'm working with Scott, Cody, and Roger. We've sourced ramps, and I've been working with the people selling the ramps to make sure that they hold them for us. They have other cities interested in purchasing the ramps, but when we originally spoke, and we spoke to some of the developers of skate parks and everything, the original estimate was anywhere between 75 and 100, right? These ramps that they have on all courts are currently 25, so quite a bit cheaper than what we originally estimated. So that is the update I have so far. So I did have a talk with a member of the EDC, and I'm planning to attend their meeting on Monday. So
Were you fundraising successful?
they're doing okay. We're small. We're growing every day. The main issue I'm running into is I just don't have the right connections, and I'm trying to make those connections with the community. I've reached out to Chamber of Commerce, local businesses. I've gotten 3 local businesses involved. I've reached out to also major skate businesses and industry leaders have sent me items to be able to raffle off fundraisers and stuff. So slowly but surely. So
Yeah, and just so you know, the board is here to support you in any way we can as well.
Okay. It'd be great if any board members could help me make connections with organizations or something to help with fundraising. So,
Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Myself and Cody took a trip to Austin just to reiterate what Donnie said. We took a trip to Austin to look at those skate balls that we had available for us. And they're all pretty nice stuff. I mean, they're pretty durable. We look at everything. So the idea is, I know we budgeted some money for that purpose. So we plan on, so the owner said that we could buy some, not all, but a portion of it, which is what we have, and then later on, he'll keep that, the rest of it, and we could push it off, but we have to get the matching funds to correlate with it also, the city funds, and the the skating correlation fund to match it also to make it happen. But yeah, the audit was
So the portion that you're going to purchase will coincide with the skate park president, so they'll know
Yes, yeah.
exactly what's.
we'll be keeping in contact with each other, having a conversation.
Yes, sir.
This is what we're gonna do. We just need to be on board, on the same page. So everybody be the same, so, yeah.
Great. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, item 7, Cleveland Youth Baseball Association. Excuse me. The reason that I had this put on the agenda is to discuss with the board. In my own opinion, our park is sitting there and it's only being used during CYBA. So the purpose is to try and get a tournament in here to help offset the costs and things of this nature. This past weekend, I called in a tournament in Conroe, and the entire tournament had 175 teams in it. They were playing at 5 different locations. And I had a guy, what they call the UIC, umpire in charge, come to me and ask me what was the possibility of us using Cleveland, or they using Cleveland, to start having tournaments. It's an every weekend thing, and it's something that we've done before, but for some reason we dropped the ball. And so we're going to begin. What it is fall ball, and everybody knows that by softball they play year round. They play every weekend. So that's the purpose of having this on the agenda, and having some representatives here from CYBA. Is there anything you guys like to bring to our attention, discuss? Put you on the spot.
Okay, I'm Brittany Kelly. I'm the treasurer for CYBSA. I think that's a great idea. I mean, having those teams come in obviously generates revenue for those fields, and possibly doing other things to improve those fields. And for me, you see how dark it is. Sorry, I'm short. You see how dark it is. We can only play at certain times during certain times of the year because we have no lights on the majority of those fields out there. We have 2 fields with lights. So in hosting those tournaments and such, that's something that you're going to have to think about, is putting lights out on certain fields to be able to host those tournaments. But, I mean, as a representative of CYBSA, we are also going to benefit from that as well, because in time, when the time changes, and we have to do certain things in certain ways, and double up on fields sometimes because of the limit on lights. So that's something to think about.
Yeah, when we first built the park, I played a great part in it, and the lights are quite expensive.
Yes. There's also grants that can be.
And that's what we're going to be working towards.
So.
Now, also, just for FYI, even though we have 4 softball fields, okay, we have 2 this league, 2 this now. You can still do tournaments up to a certain point, and then you scale your tournament back down, the team is playing, and then do the two fields that's lit.
Right.
And hopefully, one of the ideas that I had is an idea that I have, is that if we were to do this, that we can do a memorandum of understanding MOU with the district, and hopefully go over and use those facilities as well, which would give us 3 lighted fields. So there are some possibilities of things.
The
that could
school
be-
district, like
Yeah,
at the high
yeah,
school?
at the high school.
Uh-huh.
So what you could do, you could use, and this is just, because I do this, is you let your championship game could be held at the school. Bring your championship games there, play your pool and your other games at the regular park. Come championship time, then you come to your 3 lighted fields. And that's a great possibility. I haven't spoken with the superintendent about it yet, but I know that he's very amenable to doing things, being a good partnership with our community. So, when does CYBA start again?
So we're starting signups December 1st. We're hoping to have signups open. So that was my next question is, what does that look like for the weekends during the spring? Are we going to have to schedule around that for our season? Or?
No, what would be fair and is to, because CYBA is an intricate part of this community, the way I feel, is that we will work around their schedule.
Okay.
Okay. There are some things that has to be worked out, and I've talked, and Scott understands as well. For instance, CYBA's equipment that you're having there, your food stuff would have to be moved.
Right.
I haven't checked the umpire room here lately to see whether or not it's turned into a storage room or not.
We have a storage facility that we use, but using that as a storage facility through the season, I mean, we use it to keep things in through the season as needs arise from kids who need something that just is in that room instead of having to go to the storage building and get it out.
Makes sense.
Does that make sense? So yes, it is being used, not now, everything's in the storage building, but throughout the season, yes, it is used.
Yeah, before we do anything like that, I would definitely get with the city manager, and we will get with your board, and then we will start planning around the time that you are there.
Okay.
Because that's clear. We don't want to
Yes, sir.
interrupt.
Yeah, I agree.
We definitely don't want to interrupt that. Anybody else?
Okay, sure. You want to look at me? I'll go ahead. Okay.
You know how to do it.
Okay, so I cannot speak for CYDSA anymore because I stepped down from that board. But what I will say, just something to bring up to think about hosting these tournaments, who is going to work them? Because like when CYDSA has like their districts tournaments, they work it because obviously that money goes back into the league, which is then poured back to the community. There is not a full-time staff that I'm aware of. So perhaps you could explore contracting with them.
What would happen on that is that whoever comes in to do the tournament, there would be an understanding between the city and that person. So that person will have the concession stand, and normally they come in, they have vendors, they get a percentage of it, and a percentage will go to the city itself. And what I'm hoping, and I know the city manager probably will agree with this, is that when we start these tournaments, then we can do a line item working towards getting the lights done.
Yeah, I mean, agree, because like they definitely need lights, but something also to keep in mind, the refrigerators and the fryer is their property.
But see, now that, I don't mean to cut you off. See, this thing, please understand, Nikki Costa, when we first did this, that was one of the concerns that we had, is that if you're not careful with your hometown league people, then they will put equipment in there, and then it becomes ownership. So that's something we're gonna have to work.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah.
That might be something you want to talk with the city though, because then if you take out the items that they bought, and you would need to replace them with the city, and I just don't know if that's in the budget.
Well, that's something that, that's
But,
something that we will work on. I had already,
I
I knew that was gonna
Yeah.
come up. I knew that even before we built it,
Yeah.
because I've been doing this for over 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to be very careful when you when another organization come into a city park and start placing items in there, then that becomes ownership. Technically, correct me if I'm wrong, what goes in there really belongs to the city.
I mean,
But-
again, Scott would talk on that with much
Yeah.
more authority than I would. I know from my past involvement having to sit in there, you know, like, we were told, you know, to have fryers, you have to buy an oven hood. That was a $20,000 cost out of their pockets. So I don't know how, like, whenever you start piecing it out, you know, there's three main fields. That fourth field is not up and running as of yet. So you have fields 1, 2, and 3, and of those, only fields 2 and 3 have lights. Julius knows he umpires. He umpires there all the time. I know you umpire too. I was at that particular field umpires. So those are the ones that are usually the bigger fields for the bigger kids. Then you go down to.
Well, because let me correct you, all 4 fields are equipped, they're 300-foot fence, and each field has a temporary fence, so all 4 fields can play leg ball up to 18, high school or whatever.
Okay,
So
well,
all you
field
do-
4 can't right now because it's grass. It's just the whole thing's grass.
It's not complete.
It's not completed. I know they're working on completing it, and there is like dirt for the bases, but like the pitching area is grass.
Okay.
Throw you under the bus.
I didn't, no, it's not his fault. It's not his fault at all. There's no bus throwing.
I think a trip out there, I think a trip out there,
But it's not, if you compare field 4 to fields 2 and 3, which is what it should all look like. Field 4 looks completely different than fields 2 and 3. It's just not in use yet, so it's not maintained the same way fields 2 and 3 are. Because it's just not. And then your 2 T-ball fields down to K. Dillon, and then I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if Dillon's called because it's kind of changed a couple times. Those 2 don't have lights on them, but we do now have a bathroom down there, so that's very exciting to get on that.
Well, that happened with kids.
And so I'm just going to say, as someone who has run games out there and who has run district tournaments out there, there are a lot of things to consider that I think that the city could work out. It just might take an upfront investment.
And most of those, we are aware of, and we're gonna make that, trust me, we're gonna make that happen.
But yeah, but no, like literally the only thing that pops out of my head is just, I just want to make sure
Right.
that we know who's going to be in charge of those tournaments and protecting the city investment. Because as some people know, you have people come into the community, they don't care about those fields as much as these people do.
Well, the thing of it is, yeah, so you'll understand, that's why you have a UIC. You have someone that's that person's responsibility to make sure that they get umpires, to make sure that everything's clean, to make sure that the facilities are kept properly. Those are things that we will give to the city manager and Roger and make sure that those things are done.
And I would also be your Parks and Rec board as well.
That was my only thing, my 2 questions was just, who was going to work the tournaments?
Well, that would be up to the person, the people that's putting the tournament on. That's what that would come in. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum now.
Yes, we do. We do have a quorum now. So now we can transact business. So if we would, let's go back to item 4. The minutes from September 11th.
Mr. President, I think I saw one. This is on item 5, Regina Williams.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Yeah, I just saw the name, Regina Williams, on item 5, on September 11th,
Oh.
minutes.
That's the typo.
Yes. Just for the record, to make sure we change that.
Well, notice that there was a typo on Mrs. Venus' last
But I
name.
think it's another person.
And make that necessary.
Other than that, so and we set the minutes. So if there is no other corrections, I will go ahead and make a motion that we approve the minutes for September the 11th.
We have a motion by Ms. Clay to approve the minutes, second by Mr. Gina. Are there any questions? Be no questions, all in favor? Motion passes. Item 5 is to discuss a future trip to visit the municipal parks. I think the time changed on us, so it would be the pleasure of the board. Can we just go ahead and table it until the spring of the year? That way, because at 6 o'clock when everybody gets off, it's already dark, and you really can't get a good assessment of what the park needed. Now, I would encourage us to at least visit the park at your leisure, and you may see something that you think needs to be done, that you can bring to my attention or the city manager's attention, and we can start working towards that. And I would also encourage you to see what the age group is saying. All right. Item 8 is to adopt the fiscal year 2024 budget. Item 8 says Pacific Summit C1B. Mr. Scott,
I'll take that one.
you take that podium, please, sir.
Yes, at the last meeting, the board had requested copies of the budget for each of the different divisions. And so in your packet is included in your packet, each of the different departments' budgets. So you get the civic center budget that's in there, the library budget, the parks budget, as well as the sports complex budget for y'all to reference. And so, if you have specific questions on those, each of those represented here as
I
well.
do have a question. And this is just the parts, I guess, because we had planned to put needed equipment or to replace equipment or whatever. So just in the item, the line items, where is it to say that we do have that fund and the amount available? Or like if we want to, we use the trails on, trails or whatever thing. So what specific line item we have to show that the amount that we have available for those needs?
The trails is going to be under the, probably under supplies and materials, is that correct, Roger? Or just moving over to revenue?
Other on the, other capital outlays, we rolls over from the previous, every year that money rolls over. So that's what it builds up, so if we don't use any, it still stays there, so we roll over to the next fiscal period. So that money is what we're gonna use to do several,
So currently that amount is what?
Under the capital outlay, we had the funding for 25,000 for the matching funds.
Right, we have that, we have that.
10,000 for the amenities for the city park that we can go ahead and purchase. And then we also have playground structured inside that
yeah,
one.
and the trails.
And then
So is that like the property service, where it says facility maintenance, or?
facility maintenance,
Yeah, that's, this is a cemetery and park, something.
That's totally different. That's a different column.
yes. But that would not be where the maintenance for, that'd be for facility maintenance, not for, like the walking trail, stuff like that.
Right. Sitting in the meeting.
If you want to know the exact amount that was budgeted for the fresh granite or the granite trails, you can look at that, bring that back next month.
Yeah, we'll do
The actual allocation for that, but it would be included, it is included, we did increase the trail funding in this budget.
And a lot of that work can be done in-house, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's gonna
Yes.
save some.
Yes, yes. We do the labor with the black material.
Right, just materials.
Yes.
Do you have the breakdown of what the capital projects were? Within your budget?
So basically just an estimate or approximate, because do we split this among all the parts, or is it?
This is for all the parts except for the sports complex. The sports complex has its own budget.
Right. And I commend Roger because they have done considerable amount of work at San Wally in the last few months on upkeep, and the lights have been corrected. I think the lights have put on a timer now, so that's a plus.
Yeah, now this, basically, it doesn't give you dollar amounts, but it does say that inside the budget is an increase to maintaining walking trails within Old City Park and San Wally Park, has a new playground equipment for Old City Park, has new amenities for the skate park, and matching funds for the, match the skate park prohibitions from the playgrounds.
The walking trail, Mr. Roger, at Wiley Park, you're just gonna take advantage of what was already laid that's overgrown?
Yeah.
Because there's a hard surface just outside of it, home run fence.
Yeah, on part of that fence on the inside with poles and the fence, all of that. Around the fence.
Right, because it's a hard surface already there.
Pretty much, I'll just make it more level.
Yes, sir.
And apply to it, and bring it up so forth.
And that'll save some costs as well.
But we haven't started on that yet, right?
No, ma'am.
And the same with Town Park as well?
Camel
I don't know
Park,
that.
yeah. So, matter of fact, today we just got our roller.
Okay.
So once that came in, so we're gonna do some practice at Public Works in the parking lot, to sure we just right on the track, and then we're gonna proceed outside of that.
Very good. Anything else on the budget?
So next time we'll bring back, give you an update on the actual dollar amount.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And we can break down what playground and everything is. We
Yeah.
can have that and get that.
Okay. Anything else on the budget? That's not an action item, it's just an update. Item 9 is the bylaws, section 86-23 and 86-24. Mr. Scott?
Okay, if y'all remember, we were kind of going through the bylaws, as this is a new committee, just going step by step, section by section. And so today, we wanted to go over the next two sections, which is 86-23 and 86-24. And so 86-23 is your duties as the Parks and Recreation Board. And basically, it's got two sections. The Parks and Recreation Board shall serve in an advisory capacity concerning park planning, development, and maintenance, recreation programming, sports park operation and maintenance, and the matters of policy pertaining to delivery of leisure services to the citizens of the city. And so again, the biggest thing on this one is that you are an advisory committee, and so you cannot approve, basically anything. You approve a recommendation that goes back before the council, and the council can actually make that approval on that. But y'all are, the purpose is to review. Now with that, your purpose is to oversee and look at all the different aspects of Parks and Recreation and leisure services, which right now we've got the Civic Center and its responsibilities, the parks and its maintenance, and then you've got the library as well. And so when all those encompassed, y'all are kind of there to be a sounding block, guidance on different policies and guidelines and direction on that. And then the next one kind of ties back into that. The Parks and Recreation Board will draft and recommend to the city council for adoption policies for use on the city's parks and recreation facilities. So again, you've already done that with the skate park, you made some recommendations for the signage, for that. And so we made some of those changes already, but as we go through, there may be times that we need to check some of the rules and some of the guidelines of these different facilities, and then we come before y'all to review and then make a recommendation to the council for adoption.
I have an off-the-wall question, and only because I don't know. The agreement with CYDA, in the city, should we not look at that agreement?
That would be under y'all's perspective, I mean, purview as well. So if it's time to be looked at and reviewed and maybe changes made,
Their
then that's
contract is
something.
not in until March of 2025.
Okay, it may not end, but we created a board that doesn't know anything about.
We can give y'all a copy of what's
Exactly.
current.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a copy of what's current.
Yes, I
And
think.
the same thing with, the CCF, same thing,
Right.
Cleveland Community Football, they also have a contract for
Yeah.
use at municipal park.
So, we need copies of that.
And so if that's something that needs to be tweaked or done, then we've got, obviously, you got a little over a year to make some of those adjustments, but I mean, it takes time to look at
Absolutely.
all that. And so if that's something that needs to be reviewed or revised, you can start that process and look at it.
I'm a big proponent of workshops, and that may be something that we need to do, is take those two entities and do a workshop one time with us, so we can at least be familiar with it, not necessarily make any changes, but be familiar with what's there.
Right.
Any comment on that? Board member?
It's a good idea.
Bill?
So the football, y'all practice out there?
Correct, yes. And it's just a practice, they only use it for practice. Yes,
Right.
we only practice on it, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We usually quote unquote take possession, I'm still on that one. We usually only quote unquote take possession on it in about July. And then we use it, as much as we can, because it does have lights. Monday, Tuesday, I'm gonna say one more time. I love you so much though. There's such a fall, Thursday and Friday, all the way up through November. But we usually, due to safety concerns, especially for the refs and fans, we use the high school's football stadium. Just because it has more stands, and it also has that very important fence that separates
That
officials.
separation, that's truly important.
It's really important fence that separate officials from some parents.
Great. And the point is, we're not trying to micromanage, but that's just something that we're gonna be aboard, we need to be abreast of what's in the contract.
Correct. Well, and having a workshop with those different organizations, because they probably have things that they want to see
I think that, yeah.
as well. So, having those discussions and seeing how you can maybe meet in the middle or negotiate a path forward for a
What's
better
the time
agreement.
for you guys to meet, what's your board?
We're meeting on Monday, of next week. So if we have information on what we need to discuss, because we had no idea what we were coming here for tonight. So if we are prepared, we can prepare to speak or to have a conversation with whoever we need to have a conversation with.
Where's
So-
your meeting on Monday and what time? Where's your meeting on Monday and what time?
The library at 6.
That's it?
And is
You knew that. I know.
But we also have a new president this year who would also like to go over the contract between the city and ourselves, because he's never been part of that process. So that's a great idea to have
Okay.
them come together.
We'll give with superintendent.
So you ran it out.
In 2 minutes. But with city manager, and then, because I think it's important that we all do before the season starts anyway. So we'll all, and, some of them may have some suggestions that help improve what you're trying to do. Because, you do have couple of athletes, on the board. You know, for after my board rights, she's not here tonight, but that would be a plus also.
That's definitely not this
For Mr. Williams and Coach Hollis. Okay.
Okay, so that's basically the duties as a section 8623 explained. And then on section 8624 is consultation and cooperation with other groups, like we just talked about.
Right.
So the Parks and Recreation Committee shall consult, advise, and cooperate with other groups concerned with providing recreation in and for the city. So basically, we just talked about is what's under 8624. So,
Absolutely.
and so that's basically those two items there. I don't think there's anything necessarily needs to be updated on that, or anything necessarily be changed. There's one, we're under 8624, it says Parks and Recreation Committee, whereas the rest of it, it talks about the Parks and Recreation Board, but, you know.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Any questions from Scott before we get points back to his chair? Julie, you have anything, sir? Okay, thank you, sir. At this time, we have board comments. We'll start with Mr. Williams. Do you have any concerns or suggestions?
I'm sorry for my tardiness, but I don't have anything. I think y'all gave an overview, kind of what y'all discussed, especially with the information the CYBA, Baseball Association. I think that'll be a great chance. And y'all have y'all meeting for us to talk, suggest, get a lot of input. And I walked in on sports complex, maybe. What was she speaking about? Was that about the municipal park?
Yeah.
That's about tournaments, yeah. You wanted to, you was talking about hosting a tournament?
Mr. Carter mentioned that y'all might want to host tournaments,
Oh.
and so I was just talking about the logistics of it.
Okay, that's fine.
Ms. Layton?
No question, just want to follow up, as you stated, to go and review the parks, just to see what's done or what's to be done. And I did hear something about the fields, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Want to see what it is that we could do to maybe fix field 4. I don't think you heard that part.
That's Mr. Roger. He'll take care of that. That's just an oversight that, among other things that he has to do, we understand we can give you.
Yeah, and just see how we can sort of resolve the issue about the lights, that's needed out there, and that's about it.
Yes, Virginia?
I don't really have anything. I do want to say something though, that I did see on Facebook where somebody brought up a safety issue at Samuel Wiley Park, something with a bar that was sticking out or something that was dangerous or hazardous.
It was correct.
And the city got right on it and fixed it.
Thank you. I brought it to Roger's attention. It was taken care of.
So kudos to the city.
Mr. Jules?
Just want to make sure we can continue to work with CYBA and Cleveland Community Football, keep them out there.
Is there a special reason you want that?
That's a statement out there. Hey, I played in both of those.
That's right. It's a great thing.
That's a great thing. So I'll make sure we continue to keep that going.
Okay. I think I've said everything that was of concern that I had, and I agree with the statements that everyone's made. We can assure you that we're going to work with CYBA and the football league as well. So that's our future. And I've been around a long time, little dribblers, and we've had some tremendous talent come out of these programs. And we need to continue to support it, and make sure that it's ran properly, as it is as well. Okay? No other comments, entertain a motion to adjourn?
I have a question before you do it.
Yes, sir.
So, I've been listening to your conversation back and forth, so I was,
Want to take the podium, please?
I'm here today. So I was listening to your conversation back and forth, how, you know, you say you play games over here, you play games over here, this, that, and the other. So what is needed at the ballpark, as far as the municipal ballpark, that will ensure, as far as it's vital for different aspects of the game?
If you talk about putting on softball tournaments, and Mr. Williams can speak to this as well. We could host anywhere between a 15 to 16 team tournament as is right now.
Okay.
Right now, with just two sets of lights. It's just a matter of how you schedule your game, your pool game versus your bracket game. You could do it. As I said, I did a big tournament this weekend. People came to me about that, and that's something that we need to sit down and really work at. The issue is going to be, and I'm not trying to be negative,
No.
the issue is going to be when you go into the concession stand, because CYBA has equipment in there that they're taking ownership of that can cause problems, because when you, whatever's in there should be able to be used, or
No matter
something,
what.
you have to work out something with
Right,
that.
right.
And this was the issue when it first took place. That's why Mr. Coach and I was very intimate and concerned that the city purchased the equipment that they needed. That way you wouldn't have issues with ownership. So as it is right now, if I were to host a tournament
We gotta get
in
stuff
2 weeks, they got to take all their stuff out, and other stuff got to be brought in. That can cause an issue, because your deep fryers and stuff are hardwired, am I correct?
No.
Yeah.
They're not hardwired?
No, we can remove them, it's just the city would then have to pony up to replace what we would bring out.
Yeah,
But
okay.
you also run into, we have to replace things frequently because of the nature of the concession stand. So we're replacing refrigerators every other year. We're replacing fryers. I mean, it's just, the electrical, it's a cinder block building. It's just the nature of it, and that's fine. We budget for those things and we do that. But as the city comes in and does something to that effect, they're going to have to either
Working for that item also.
those
just
things,
For the future.
yes, or insulate the building and put an AC in there, or, I mean, but those are things that's bigger than us.
But it is academic.
It's,
It's not it?
there's fans in there.
Okay, so this other one, this other one, probably.
It's a window unit.
And I think this is why he's asking, what is the specific thing? We
One
need
of the
to
things that
account.
the city could do, so it could alleviate these issues that we have. Keep on a positive note, that way, no matter who comes up in there, it'd be the city equipment budget back and forth.
Right.
So give me a list of recommendations of stuff that would benefit no matter what organization plays there.
Right, and that's why I think it's imperative that the two groups sit down and have this conversation.
Right.
So that way, we know what everybody's doing, and that way, when you do come in with a tournament, those things will already be worked out. You don't need to work that out the week or the month
Right.
after you say
It's
we're
been-
gonna have a big
it's been
tournament.
there. And also, I know you're talking about how we have our fence up, whether referees or players, whatever. Just give me a list of what needs to be done, so it could be like any other place that you go to that it has.
Okay.
Like-
What I'll do, I'm gonna do a little delegating. I'll get Coach Holland and Coach Williams. We'll go out and we'll do an assessment.
Yeah.
And not that no one else knows, but that, we do that, so we'll do an assessment, and I'll get with you, city manager, and give it to you. Because I'm sure the temporary fences probably need to be replaced by now. The pop-up fence.
It's not fenced properly.
Our fences work well.
Ma'am?
The fences work well. The
They
ones
still
that-
work?
Yeah, the divide the field.
classes?
They work well.
Good.
We haven't had any issues. We have issues with bases. I mean,
Yeah.
our fields are not, that's another thing you're gonna run into hosting tournaments on those fields. Those fields are not properly, the dirt work is not done properly, to where if it rains just a little bit, we can't play.
Oh, so we haven't put the topsoil back in since, I guarantee since we opened up. I know what you're talking about.
There's a whole list of things that is gonna have to be done for select ball teams to want to play on those
Exactly.
fields.
That's what I'm on the list.
Okay, so what we'll do, I'll get the three of us along with you as well, and we'll go out and do an assessment. Because, she's absolutely correct. You've got to have certain standards, and those standards, we know what those standards are, and then we'll need to be able to do that. And those same standards need to be in place for CYBA as well.
I mean, it makes
But
sense.
our kids will play on anything, so like, it's a little different for us to play Little League ball out there. Yes, we want to play, obviously, we want it to be, it is beautiful out there. We're thankful for the beautiful facilities that we do have. But it's a little bit different for our scrappy kids who go out there to play league ball than the kids who pay money monthly to play on turf and to
Exactly,
play.
yeah.
So it's apples and oranges to
It is.
this type of ball we're
But-
playing.
Expectation is different.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know, we need to give our kids, to the best of our ability, the same opportunity, as these other kids have. Because I tell you right now, that surface, that playing surface makes a difference, especially when you're infield. And it's just a matter of mind, I can't call the name, but now, but there's a certain gravel, down dirt that needs to be on those fields. And I can almost assure you that it has been since we built the facility.
Yeah, just give them, so we just get together with a list so we can improve our office and so we can move forward. So we have whatever type of event out there that needs to be out there, so
We can do that.
we go. Right in the meeting.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'm proud of Cleveland. And I tell you, I brag about our park, and folks who go along with playing, we're gonna be playing. Okay. Anybody else? Mr. Scott? Ms. Ashley, you have anything?
No, I don't have anything. One of my things is just that with parks, I think too, you guys would have to also look at the budget as far as what's for the sports.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's a $26,000 budget is not gonna go very far when trying to get it up to par where it needs to be.
Well,
And even too, when it rains out there, you're gonna have to look at, drainage, things like that. When it rains, nobody can play out there. So a lot of things are gonna have to be taken into account in consideration when we're trying to book, teams from Katy, Woodlands, wherever, that are used to playing on scrap yard, that's turf and different things like that. So,
listen, scrap, what do you know about scrap yard?
my son plays softball.
But what you're saying,
Things like that, you're just gonna have to take it into consideration. You just gotta do a lot to get it to where it needs to be.
and that, what you're saying is true, it's the same thing with that top surface that Julie's not talking about.
Yeah.
And that's something that CYBA and the city should be working hand in hand to make sure it happens, because it helps those kids as well.
Diamond dirt, it was
The diamond dirt.
Diamond dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like real fine.
Heat gravel.
Heat gravel.
Can I tell you something about the library?
No, this is,
Up there.
That's part of the leader services.
oh, we will overlook you. Come on.
I mean, I wanted to end on a really nice note. We just had a great event. I wanted to
Well,
come
come
on
on,
a great
come on,
event.
I'm sorry.
And it was awesome.
We didn't have a forum.
I did.
What? We didn't have a forum when you won.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
Did-
it did cost you a small fortune. The children appreciate it. Okay, so this past month, we had our very first kids pop-up market. So if you're familiar with like neighborhood markets, people will pop up and they'll sell like their produce or their vegetables or anything like that. So what we did was we had the kids, they prepared items, they did it all themselves. We opened it up to the community. We had Cleveland ISD students, Tarkington ISD students, as well as our homeschool students all participate. They all signed up for a booth, and they created their product. They came up with their own pricing on their product. We partnered with the Greater Chamber, the Greater Cleveland Area Chamber, and Austin Bank, and they kind of handled the finances of it. And we were able to we had 40 students participating. We had a range of products from fresh squeezed lemonade, all the way to like little gadgets and toys. A lot of people made holiday ornaments or jewelry. All in all, what?
Those crocheted items.
Those crochet items, those were popular. So the kids got to showcase their talent. And as a whole, the students made just under $2,000. Now, the way it worked was, let's say Miss Regina came in, she went to the bank, which was run by the Austin Bank, and they exchanged their cash for the fair money. And then they went to the students, and it was a 1-to-1 ratio, so $1 would buy you 1 fair buck. And then they would buy from the student. Let's say she had her items as $5. So then at the end of it, the students would then come to each booth, and they would turn in their fair money to the bank, which again was Austin Bank and the Chamber, not the library. And they would exchange it for the actual American cash. I think our highest seller walked away with like $280.
Per individual.
Yeah, well, that's how much he was able to earn. I think our lowest earner only earned like $35, so still a great night for that kid. It was like a 7-year-old. That's some money. And so they were able to do that, and they were able to exchange it. We had lots of calls asking when we're going to do it again. We wanted to do it outside, but daylight savings time ran on my parade, so it was indoors. We are hopeful that we'll have it again in the spring, and then it can be outside so we can accommodate even more children. But I just think it was a great library program, as well as another great partnership between the City of Cleveland, the Chamber, and as well as a local business.
Well, thank you for promoting the library and the city.
Yes.
There's some great things happening in Cleveland. I tell you, I love me some Cleveland. I wouldn't live anywhere else. Okay, I think we've had a good meeting. Again, I apologize for being late, but I look forward to working with CYBA, and I look forward to working with our local football league, and just continue to do improvements for our children. Because when you look around, our kids have nothing as far as outings and sporting events. If it wasn't for CYBA and football, we would really be up a creek. One of my dreams is to eventually have an Olympic-sized swimming pool, so the kids would have something to do. I have a great idea if I could just get the other two entities to come together. We could do that. But we just got to keep moving forward, keep working. I learned that the more you speak about it, the sooner it comes to fruition. I'm going to keep talking about it. Y'all talk about the pool too. Because I just believe that between the city, the school district, and economic development, it can come to fruition. And what it will do is give another sport for schools. If Cleveland builds an Olympic-sized swimming pool, then Tarkington, Shepherd, Splendor, other schools in the area that doesn't have it, to come in and utilize it at a fee per year, help offset the cost. Just a thought. Okay? Anybody else? Entertain a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Dean? Second. Thank you. It's been a great